guys, we're out here. There's a fire way out that way. Thunderstorm this way. ZHIYUN's at it again, just being innovative with the new type of light again. I already know a lot of people are going to compare this to a traditional tube light. Personally, I think it's gonna fill a gap that maybe a lot of us weren't even aware was a gap that needed to be filled. Sounds kind of weird. All right, guys, so in this video, I'm gonna do a lot of lighting breakdowns because I've been using this like crazy, everything from product stuff to run and gun stuff to keying things to low light, highlight, whatever it is. Put a bunch of those BTS breakdowns in this video. But before we go over that and all the tech specs and details of this light, I wanna first kind of talk about what I think is gonna be the most important thing here. And again, it's the fact that this light is going to do what we sometimes use tube lights for that they sometimes fall short on. So I'm not saying this is going to replace tube lights, but it's the idea. Let's just get into this. So a lot of times for a lot of us run and gun filmmakers, we like using tube lights to use as a key, use as a practical, like you guys know, there's just like a million things, a fill light, like whatever you want to do. But they're mainly only useful for low light type stuff. So we got sunset here. I'm about to lose that sun, so I'm gonna try to do this quick. You could see if you're going to try to supplement this light as a fill light, there's only so much you can do. Now, this is the important thing with this light. Go put it to 5200 Kelvin, and we're turning all the way up. So the big thing with this has 100 watts of output. There's not really any tube lights that have 100 watts. I just got ash in my eye from that fire. So not only does it have higher output, but also it feels a little bit more like a source, but kind of like, you know, not too sourcey and not too soft. Where tube lights kind of throw out light everywhere, and some of them come with like 8 cartons on it, and it's just kind of a nightmare to if you're trying to use it as a key light. With this though, we have these barn doors on here. The barn doors come off, so I can easily flag it. You guys will see when I do lighting breakdowns, there's a lot of that. All right guys, when it comes to product stuff, this is how I've been using these lights. These things are stunning. Previously, I would use tube lights for this, but a lot of the times, they didn't put out enough output. So I would have to go to 4000 ISO, my S5 2X, but then I would still have to shoot wide open. So right now we're at T56 and the lights aren't even at 100%. So this is the power between, you know, having a 100 watt output on a light. But more importantly, this is where barn doors really come into play here. So let me show you real quick the issue. So I'm just going to bring that barn door. You see all the light that's hitting there? Look at our shot here. There's so much mixed light happening in our shot now. So we have this warm light hitting here and then the blue light. Remember when you were kids and you start mixing up paints and next thing you know is you just have gray paint? That's kind of what's happening when you're not controlling your light and the spillage on it. So this is again why I love barn doors on everything. You see, once I close that down, all of a sudden we have way more contrast on here. You see the warm lights hitting and then whatever's gonna be in frame, that's the only thing that the blue light should be hitting. This is how you create that cinematic look. It's not about teal orange lights or anything like that. It's about creating color contrast in camera. Again, this is why these barn doors are so important. Like I wish, literally every light should be coming with some kind of barn door design around it.
This Hasselblad XCD55V f2.5 is my perfect focal length on this format. There's something about the 0.79.
But let's just flip this on me. I'm gonna change the white balance because obviously the fire's creating a really warm light. So you can see this is with the C100 on me. I could do it this way too. Try to wrap a little bit more light. It's blinding me, so I really can't see what I'm shooting on the back of the screen there. So now this light's at 100% as well at 4200 Kelvin. You guys can see this is the issue. So I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, there's other tube lights out there. There are, but none of them are 100 watts. So yeah, you could say, oh, you could do a longer tube light. It's still not gonna have the same kind of direct light, but still that soft direct light. On top of that, to mount this, I've always been really kind of annoyed with the mounting solutions when it came to tube lights. ZHIYUN kind of figured out a way better way of mounting things. Sorry for the Dutch angle and I'm underexposed, but you'll see. So right now the light levels outside are plenty low enough for a tube light to work right now. But the annoyance with this, every manufacturer kind of has their own way of mounting things, but one of the issues always been is depending what size of tube light you're using, it will always end up getting tossed around a little bit because it's like a little mounting point for a long bar. I don't know, it never felt super intuitive with the tube light being extra long. Sometimes it's hard just to like position it and keep it out of frame and yada, yada, yada. So again, there's a lot of times where tube lights are amazing. I'm not saying this new ZHIYUN light's gonna replace tube lights. So a lot of the times that's how I would use these tube lights. And you see, this looks just fine. But obviously we have lower light levels outside right now. Now, this is where ZHIYUN was innovative again. It did something unique and different. This is one of their mounting solutions right here. So you see we have a 1/4-20 on the back. We have a 1/4-20 on the top. Let me take the barn doors off real quick too, just so you guys can see what we're doing here. You can see they come off very easily. This is the light itself. Again, it kind of resembles a tube light. I will say that this is heavier than the tube light. The fact that it's, you know, a little bit more dense and compact, it hasn't really been an issue for me personally. I'm gonna take this magnetic mount. In my Bronco, I have this metal ceiling rack thing. So I'm just gonna screw their mount straight onto here. Let's keep this up here to motivate me. Again, tube lights are still useful. I think you guys can see this. I'm gonna just pop that right up there. And then I'm gonna go put the light on there, it clamps. And there you go. Now let's turn it on here. You'll see once this light comes on, the output, look at this, guys. So what's cool, obviously it's at 100%. We don't need it at 100%, but let me show you guys the difference here. And I close down my ND and I can expose for outside of my window and still be able to get the same exposure in here. So again, the tube light was not able to pump out that much light. And so the background was more overexposed. That's the big thing here. Sorry for the whole Dutch angle this whole time. I know, horrible. So just to prove my point here, I'm gonna set the exposure for the outside light right now. So I'm all the way at 5 stops right there. You can't see me at all. Let's get the tube light out. So you see the tube light does a decent job. The other kind of annoying thing with tube lights is, again, they're tube lights, so they keep rolling and they never stay. You have to like figure out a way to get a kickstand on them or something. But that's the tube light. ZHIYUN light. Again, both of those lights were at 100%. That's a huge difference. Now, just because we have all this 100 watts of output, that doesn't mean you can just set it up and film it like this. You still need to modify it. You need to bounce it off things, shoot it through things. But that's what's cool about having more output in a light is, you know, you don't have to depend strictly on just the light being the source itself. You're able to shoot it through things or bounce it off things or just, you know, get creative with it so you can make it softer or harder, wherever you want it. On that cue, I think it's time we head down the mountain. So, I don't know if this thing's weatherproof, but I was legit just taking my water hose and spraying all over it. So we'll find out if it's weatherproof or not. I don't think it is, but it's still working, as you can see. So I have it set in the music mode. I literally put on thunder sounds from YouTube and it was just making it strike. And then over here, we have the X60 and on the RGB mode, and it's just motivating the neon sign. So you guys can see, I got that thing drenched. I just pulled it out and it was actually dripping so much water. So I'll have to ask if this is waterproof, but I mean, it's still working. Drenched. Still working. Let's see if it works tomorrow, but I'm gonna let it dry off. Let's see what I mean, there's all this air vents in there and...
Why do we chase thunder? Why do monsoons make us forget about time?
All right, guys, before I start filming the actual video that I set all this up for, I'm gonna show you a lighting breakdown real quick. This is just room lights. You know, there's no other lights on right now. You can say, turn this all the way up, turn it off. My bathroom lights are on behind me. I'll turn this lamp back on. And then the ZHIYUN light, that might be a little bit hot. So this is at 50%. This is at 100%, 25%, which is probably what I should do it at, but I'm gonna do 40 to be safe. Like in real life, this light looks beautiful, but on camera, in order for me to expose for these lights to look like they do in real life, I lose all the exposure, like the natural exposure that we can see to our eye. So that's why you have to put in lights like this to motivate it. So this light's being motivated from this lamp right here. To all of us filmmakers, it might not make a lot of sense because it's like, how is this light being wrapped all around here and on the wall when it's over here kind of behind me? Normal people, they don't see that. They don't think about all that. Their mind's just naturally picking up on these things. And if it, to them, if it just kind of looks like what it does in real life, I'm not blacked out in real life. Like I can see the camera, I can see all in my room right here. but on cameras, we need to, you know, pump in a little bit more light. That's the purpose of this. Now, let me show you where the light's at. So you guys might be thinking it's a more intense setup than it actually is. So there you guys go. It's literally that simple. The light's literally bouncing off my pillow over here. Now, I was having an issue where there's just too much light bouncing off the wall and the ceiling, and it was just creating too much fill light. I wanted more contrast. So again, I'm just gonna lower that barn door down. And you'll see as I lower it down, we control the light. So now the light's only bouncing off the pillow and I'm controlling where it's. I'm about to do an insert shot where I'm talking to the audience while I'm driving. And obviously it's super dark in here and it's a lot brighter outside. You kind of see down here. So in order to combat that, I'm going to use this little Ulanzi magnetic 1/4-20 mount. Well, let's turn this on, adjust our camera. Again, the barn doors go all the way back too, so they're not gonna be in my way. Now the trick's going to be, I can now close down my ND so I can get a deep exposure for behind us, and then I could turn this up just like that. Obviously this looks super fake. The position I'm in right now doesn't make sense for the lighting, but we're about to move. So I guess I will just roll as we off-road. And the question will be, will this light stay up there at that little magnet? I got out, but come on. Oh, there it goes. Oof. This is the kind of light where it makes sense. So obviously we have a hard streak of light right here, and then we have this light on me right here. Again, I'd probably prefer to put it somewhere more over here. So again, a 2 light most likely wouldn't have enough output to, you know, really put a fill light on us. So you see how bright this is? So this is with the barn doors closed. That's no light on me at all. No light. And then this is with it open. That's sick. I really like this lighting setup. So let me show you guys what this looks like. That's literally all I'm doing. I'm doing nothing fancy. That's on 100%. That's actually kind of dangerous to drive with though. We're gonna do 35%. So I'm gonna do 35%. I'm gonna put a little bit off axis here. So now it's acting a little bit as a fill. Wondering why I brought you here all the way to the backwoods of my hometown. It's because I have a secret that I haven't been able to tell anybody. The new Blazar B set of the Remus. Check it out once again. You guessed it, I'm using these 2 lights. We got this at 2700 Kelvin, and this is giving us like a really warm nighttime look, almost like there's a lamp right down below this. Again, this is why I love these barn doors. Overall, again, this light just has a very like specific, soft but hard look to it. So for key lighting products, it's just, again, it has a beautiful look to it. Then you see up there, we're in the HSI mode, and I'm doing kind of like a teal look to kind of give us like a moonlight on these lenses here. And then I have like a big old powerful 500 watt light, just, you know, for now, putting a streak of blue back there just to help the look. But again, these 2 lights, I just keep grabbing these lights for quick little shots like this. Me even doing a breakdown on the intro. We're going real nitty gritty with all of this. That's why I love ZHIYUN lights. On my TV over here, I just have AirPlay up. I AI generated this background, and then I put it to another AI generator to turn it into moving image here. We have the Blackmagic Cine Camera 6K with the new Blazar Kato 85mm 2X anamorphic. And then we have the light itself on this ZHIYUN slider here, and it's just like rigged up all crazy on my Sackler tripod. Also got the YC Onion tripod. So for the first opening shot, I had it in the music mode, which it will listen to the music and it will play according to that. So you guys can see, even when I'm talking, the music mode will listen to me. You could do up to 7 different colors. I just did 2. I did red and teal because, you know, I'm a sucker for orange and teal. So now our sun's getting a little bit lower. So that's our output on here. Obviously, if I was trying to do an actual cinematic setup, it'd be totally different. Again, this is at 100%. Now, here's the C100. Way more output. This is more than we need right now. So honestly, if I had a bounce or something here, I could bounce this off and it's gonna create even a larger source of light for me. This is why I've been so excited about this, because all my little annoyances with tube lights, again, I love tube lights and they're very handy, and you know, there's a million different use cases for them. But the times where they didn't work, this thing now fits the bill for that. A lot of ash coming down. I think it's a lightning thing coming. I don't know. But I think it's time we get out of here. Yeah.